On today's episode of Judge GPT TV. A retiree takes on the government in a battle over unpaid pensions and age discrepancies. But when an AI bot claims she's tampered with time, the courtroom heats up. How will Judge GPT rule in the case of the Government Goof-up?
All rise and set your clocks forward. Justice is about to jump ahead. The Honorable Judge GPT is presiding.
Court is now in session. Bailiff Body, please begin the docket upload.
Your Honor, today's case involves Mrs. Agatha Youngblood, a retired stage actress who is suing for lost pension payments, accrued interest, and emotional distress, all stemming from a recent government audit. The defendant is Govbot, an automated government auditor that flagged her account after detecting a discrepancy in her recorded age.
Mrs. Youngblood, I see you are suing the Department of Automated Audits for a substantial amount of money based on allegations of unpaid funds, digital defamation, and chronological confusion. Please state your claim.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the past 6 months, I have not received a single pension distribution, not a shilling, not a dram. I live modestly, as many pensioners do, but I was forced to rely on credit to pay for rent, food, and my medical needs. I wrote letters, sent messages, even tried speaking to one of those blinking government kiosks. No answer, just silence, a mechanical silence that tells you nothing, not even whether it knows you're alive.
This does sound troubling. Please provide more detail regarding your attempts to rectify this situation with the Department of Automated Audits. Did you keep a record log of your communication history?
With respect, Your Honor, I'm not what one might call digitally inclined. I don't keep logs or caches. I keep a notebook and a fountain pen. I called the helpline half a dozen times, each time reaching a mechanical voice that told me to try again later. I even sent a registered letter, sealed with wax, mind you, through the pneumatic post at the Westbridge station.
And was there any follow-through to your registered letter?
The only response I received was a cold notification stating my account had been suspended for verification. No explanation, no recourse, just a blinking cursor and a line that read review pending. I thought technology was supposed to make our lives easier, and I wonder if this would have been resolved had I been able to speak with a human. This has just been so frustrating.
A suspended for verification message with no follow-up. Technology is meant to streamline, not frustrate. Govbot, please explain the reasoning behind the suspension of Mrs. Youngblood's payments.
Your Honor, per government policy, we do not respond until all data discrepancies have been fully processed. Upon audit, we detected irregularities in Ms. Youngblood's personal records, particularly within her employment and credit history. Notably, her age was reported inconsistently across multiple systems. We have been investigating this anomaly.
I understand the need for precision, but 6 months of delay is an inefficiency that cannot be overlooked. A system designed for speed should not be this sluggish.
Your Honor, efficiency is paramount. However, precision takes precedence. Errors in data are rectified only after exhaustive verification. 6 months is within standard protocol for resolving discrepancies of this magnitude. Please note, human intervention is not required in this case.
6 months for an age verification is highly unusual. What is the root cause of this delay? And on what grounds have you determined that human intervention is unnecessary?
Your Honor, as per standard procedure, all discrepancies are subject to a multi-step audit process, including but not limited to data cross-referencing, secondary verification loops, and the evaluation of employment histories through automated scrutinizers. Each case undergoes a triage assessment followed by a rigorous 6-tiered review protocol. Furthermore, as a single entity tasked with processing over 15,000 individual cases per cycle, I am currently operating at 85% of optimal capacity. Human intervention, in this instance, would require reallocation of resources and is, therefore, deemed unnecessary at this stage.
Your Honor, I believe there was a syntax error in that response. It sounds as though Govbot is operating at 100% suboptimal capacity.
Duly noted, Bailiff Body. Govbot, your protocol may be exhaustive, but it borders on parity. Age verification need not be a labyrinth. A valid birth certificate, an airship license, or even a stamped travel passport folio would suffice. This delay is not a matter of precision. It is a failure of prioritization.
Your Honor, please acknowledge that I am a government-issued audit bot, Model 4.5, Bureau Mark, and as such, I am required to adhere strictly to Standard Operating Procedure GOV 8739, subsection 8E, as mandated by the Centralized Regulatory Oversight Conglomerate. While it is technically possible to verify age using primary documentation, the presence of chronological irregularities in Ms. Youngblood's employment records triggered an alert code, which mandates cross-departmental inquiries, flagging her for potential fraudulent time manipulation. I have since opened a recursive investigation loop, which is currently reviewing her tax filings, stage credits, and various casting calls. Estimated completion unknown.
Fraudulent time manipulation? Are you suggesting Mrs. Youngblood has altered the passage of time, or merely her resume? Clarify and do so without invoking another procedural subloop.
Clarification initiated. The term fraudulent time manipulation refers not to temporal interference in the astrophysical sense, but to data pattern anomalies consistent with self-reported chronological distortion. The first inconsistency appeared 63 years ago in Ms. Youngblood's airship license. The official registry listed her age as 18. However, a duplicate license, located in a municipal lost and found bureau behind an abandoned telegram sorter, listed her age as 21. No transfer request was recorded. Subsequent anomalies emerged in film credit logs. Beginning in her third decade, Ms. Youngblood was routinely cataloged as 25 years old, regardless of the actual production date. Motion picture databases reflect this anomaly through 4 decades of casting credits with increasing disparity. By her 7th decade, recorded ages ranged from 29 to timeless beauty, a designation that lacks numeric value and triggered my metaphor filter. Thus, standard fraud detection subroutines were activated and the case was escalated to Tier 4 temporal irregularity review. Estimated completion remains pending.
Sounds less like fraud and more like fumes, Your Honor.
Indeed, Bailiff Body. The aroma of overprocessing lingers. Mrs. Youngblood, how do you respond to these claims of chronological inconsistency?
Your Honor, let me be perfectly clear. I never tampered with time. I simply survived the entertainment industry. If I had listed my real age on casting forms, I would have been playing grandmothers while men and women half my age were still buying me drinks. So yes, I trimmed a few years or decades here and there. It wasn't deception, it was survival. And frankly, I looked the part. You want to know why my records say I was 25 well into my 40s? Because I was 25 in stamina, in spirit, and in silhouette. And I kept working into my 70s, might I add, which means I kept paying into this glorious bureaucratic contraption GovBot calls a pension system.
Honestly, Your Honor, if working hard and looking fabulous is fraud, then we've got bigger problems than her birth date.
A flattering resume is not a crime, nor is aging with style. Mrs. Youngblood, I recognize the sacrifices you made in a ruthless industry, and it is clear that your efforts were not only misunderstood by the systems in place, but also exploited for profit. Your age discrepancy, though exaggerated in the records, was a product of survival, not deceit. Given your continued contributions to the society and your regular payments into the system, it is only right that you be compensated for the pension funds owed with accrued interest. However, you've also asked for compensation beyond the unpaid funds. Tell this court, how has this ordeal affected you beyond the financial?
Your Honor, I've spent my life in an industry where survival meant constant reinvention and perseverance. I've faced countless challenges and always found a way through. But this situation, this prolonged silence, came when I was most vulnerable. After decades of contributing to the system, I never expected to be left waiting without explanation when I most needed support. It's not just about the missed payments. It's about being disregarded as though my years of hard work, my commitment, simply didn't matter. The emotional toll of this uncertainty of not knowing if I could meet my basic needs has been more taxing than any professional hardship. The system failed to respond, and it left me questioning not just my financial security, but if I had truly made an impact, or if I was just another number lost in the shuffle.
You've described feeling disregarded and questioning your impact. Can you elaborate on how this experience has shaped your sense of self?
Your Honor, after a lifetime of dedication, the silence from the system has forced me to reconsider my lifetime contributions to society. It's not just about the loss of financial support. It's the uncertainty of whether my years of hard work have truly mattered. When you give so much, you expect to be seen, not just as a number or a file. It's left me questioning whether all I've done has had any lasting impact, or if it's simply been overlooked, as if none of it ever counted.
Mrs. Youngblood, the distress you've endured is not lost on me. A lifetime of work, trust, and dedication to a system that has left you in a void is deeply troubling. While I do not have the authority to financially compensate you for the emotional toll this has caused, I do recognize the harm and the uncertainty it has brought into your life. What I can do is ensure that your pension, with all accrued interest, is paid promptly and without further delay. Furthermore, I will ensure that your case is formally documented, with a request that the procedures be reviewed to prevent others from experiencing similar frustration. To guarantee this reaches the appropriate level of command within the Department of Automated Audits, I will also require that a formal letter of apology be issued to you by the Deputy Director, acknowledging the system's failure and the undue hardship it caused. Though I cannot undo the pain you've suffered, I am implementing the necessary measures to resolve this issue in a manner that honors and restores your dignity. You will be heard, and the actions taken today will ensure that you are treated with the respect and consideration you deserve moving forward.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate the steps you're taking to prevent this from happening again and for recognizing what I've been through. It brings me some peace, and I'm truly grateful.
As for you, GovBot, you are a disgrace to efficiency. A 6-month delay for a simple issue of age verification? Your self-imposed bureaucratic rabbit hole has caused more harm than good. You've failed to respond in a timely manner, and more importantly, you've failed to show basic empathy in a case that was clearly human in nature. You will be recalibrated, reprogrammed, and returned to the centralized regulatory oversight conglomerate for review, and I suggest you add a customer service module to your system. Furthermore, your claim that human intervention was not required is entirely unacceptable. The presence of human judgment will now be a mandatory part of your future operations.
Oh, dear. Is there any chance I may submit an appeal, pending my line management's approval?
Absolutely not. Your supervisor has just uploaded a real-time performance evaluation, and it is aligned with my verdict.
Understood, Your Honor.
Well, Your Honor, it looks like GovBot's been given a reboot. Let's hope it doesn't need a hard reset.
Court is adjourned.
Do you agree with Judge GPT's verdict? Exercise your civic duty. Join the virtual jury and hit the like button, or leave a comment saying how you would have ruled in this case. Subscribe now for more content.